All right, guys. So doing our Bible study tonight, man. I'm tired, dude. I just did like an hour and a half on the heavy bag, man, working on my spinning back kick. I had a long shift at work today, but Bible study nonetheless. We're going to be speaking out of 2 Corinthians chapter 11. This is about Paul and the false apostles. We're just gonna go all the way through this, man, straight from the Bible. I want to deliver the word to you guys, give you something powerful that's relevant to our times, just to be able to take with you tonight and understand going into tomorrow, how we can arm ourselves to fight against the false teachings, false apostles and people looking to do the work of the serpent in the last days. I hope you will put up with a little more of my foolishness. Please bear with me, for I am jealous for you with the jealousy of God himself. I promised you a pure bride, to one husband, Christ, but I fear that somehow your pure and undivided devotion to Christ will be corrupted, just as Eve was deceived by the cunning ways of the serpent. You happily put up with whatever anyone tells you, even if they preach a different Jesus than the one we preach, or a different kind of spirit than the one you received. So this is him essentially saying, like, you guys put up with people who preach a completely different Jesus than the one in the text. The Jesus who loved his neighbor as himself, the Jesus that put others first, that served the people, that did, his work with him. He literally washed their feet. He didn't expect them to serve him. He was literally God in the flesh, was humble enough to get on his knees and wash his disciples' feet. Yet we have churches, we have, communities of believers where it's just, one big, competition, or, who's the most popular, who, is getting the most likes, who has the most money, whose church is the biggest, whose ministry is the largest. Like, this isn't really what matters. What matters is, what is the heart posture of our organization, or even what is the heart posture of a single ministry? Like, if your ministry is just to go out and to share the good news of Christ with people, just tell people, hey, Jesus loves you. Tell people, like, hey, like, this is the truth of the gospel, that, like, demons look for flesh to commit their sin through, and, like, you could have freedom from demons that are literally possessing your soul. That's a ministry. And, like, what's your heart posture with that? If you go out and your heart posture is to set the captives free, there's no, financial intentions, there's no, agenda. You're not worried about how big it gets. You're not worried about none of that. All you worry about is loving Christ, doing the work of Christ, and being a disciple to Gentiles. Then you're preaching about the true Jesus, the Jesus in the scriptures. But if you have an agenda and your goal is to create the largest church ever, and you're willing to do whatever it takes, that means preaching, a weak gospel, a comfortable gospel that makes everyone comfortable so you could grow as fast as possible. Like, this is what it's speaking about. It says that they preach a different Jesus than the one we preach, or a different kind of spirit than the one you receive. Jesus put himself on the cross and he said, "Testelestai," which means it is finished. When he said it is finished, he essentially relinquished his spirit to us.